Brothers and sisters, welcome back. The first order of business before we begin is I want to say thank you to those of you who are supporting me on Patreon. You've asked to remain anonymous, and I can respect that. But again, thank you. The second order of business, brothers and sisters, you've informed me that more than anything else, you would like to know more about the electric and magnetic fluids. So thank you for letting me know as well. I've learned so much over the years you just wouldn't believe. So I've come to realize that some of the things that I post may be of interest to me, but may not be of interest to you. So letting me know that you're more interested in the magnetic fluid and the electric fluids will kind of give me some direction on where to lean. So thanks for that as well. I was supposed to upload this video last night on June 30th, but I got home so late, so I've actually been up all night. It's like 1:25 p.m. now and I haven't gone to bed yet. So there could be some slight imperfections in the videos themselves, but not too much. I mean, I wouldn't do that. But that's just to give you the heads up. A little slurring. I may have yelled at one or two hallucinations of mine, but hopefully it's edited out. Anyway, let's begin. Peace. As we are taught in school, our bodies are composed of several layers: flesh, muscles, tendons, bones, organs, etc. The heart pumps the blood which carries nutrients throughout our entire bodies via the veins and circulated throughout our entire bodies. All of these organs are kept in operation by the foods and liquids that we eat and drink, which replenishes the nutrients that our bodies need in order to survive. In the old science, or the Hermetic sciences, there are two main energies that were there even before creation itself. The old texts say, before the planets, and even before the universe itself came into being, these two energies made the foundation for it all. Yin and Yang by the Chinese, Apana and Prana by the Hindus of India. We call it, in the Hermetic sciences, the magnetic and electric fluids. This is what the Yin and Yang symbol really mean. That there are two main energies that make up our reality. The Yin and Yang symbol are the two energies as seen from above. That's if you're looking down. But looking at it from the side, we get the staff of Hermes. Both symbols are in a state of spin because one is positive and the other is negative, two opposite poles. This is how the Great Pyramids were built and the other megalithic structures. Everything in creation is positive and negative. To get levitation, you would remove more of the electric fluid from an object, or make an object more abundant with the magnetic fluid. Just as we have a physical body that needs physical sustenance, these two energies are the spiritual sustenance that our spiritual bodies need to keep it in perfect health. Just like our physical bodies have cells and veins to pass along the nutrients that our physical bodies need, we have spiritual organs that pass along spiritual or subtle energy to these higher centers. These spiritual veins are called nadis or channels, and these route the electric and magnetic fluids throughout our entire bodies from head to toe. There are three basic channels or nadis: the Sushumna, the Ida, and Pingala. But we will only focus on the Ida, which carries the magnetic fluid, and the Pingala, which carries the electric fluid. Note how they crisscross the chakras. These channels crisscross the chakras, and this is why the chakras spin. You have two opposing energies, one positive and one negative. They push against one another. And in that spin, that powerful struggle, they create the different energy fields in our body. Your goal as a witch, mage, healer, astrologer, alchemist, mesmerist, sorcerer, Kabbalist, and all the rest is to learn to emit these two energies from specific points in your body. And these are located in the hands, middle and index fingers, the feet, and the eyes. And these are depending on which path you take. When you learn to emit energy from these points, you will then be able to reshape reality and even bend space and time itself. If you want to lift like this, you know a few stints in the gym won't do it. You're going to need some serious training. And just like if you're going to take gymnastics, you're looking at years of training to do this. To emit energy from the Ida and Pingala energy channels, you need training as well, because you need to open them first before you try and use them. And this is why people practice Tai Chi. These movements allow the electric and magnetic fluids to move through these channels naturally and helps stop blockages. Like cardio exercises for the body, these exercises keep the energy flowing naturally and you in good health. When you do these preliminary exercises, the points in the hands, feet, and eyes will begin to open naturally. Something you must understand is this: all humans have energy fields, but varying in intensity, more or less to a greater or lesser degree. I mean, it's kind of the same almost in your average human, with a few exceptions. This energy field represents the average human. And this field, are those who may be born with stronger fields or gotten a stronger field through training. You must increase that energy field to get your powers. And in doing so, you will be able to use your mind to control it at will. This energy field is controlled by the mind and moves by your emotions. And this can be done by a series of different exercises, like breath retention exercises called pranayama or kundalini yoga, adding visualization techniques as well. I mean, there's a lot to learn. In doing these, your chakras will become purer, and begin to filter the negative energy around you, the same way a water purifier cleanses the sediments from water. Your energy field will become cleaner, brighter, and grow stronger. Once you are proficient in this, you will be able to turn your powers on and off at will. You will be able to turn it on when you are practicing some ritual or formula or skill, and then sort of power down when you are done and go about your business. In some of the old Hermetic books, this energy field is just called the Force.
The Force? Now, the Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
The great magic agent, or the mysteries of the astral light. There exists a force in nature which is far more powerful than steam, by means of which a single man who can master it and knows how to direct it might throw the world into confusion and transform its face. It is diffused through infinity. It is a substance of heaven and earth, for it is either fixed or volatile according to its degrees of polarization. It was termed by Hermes Trismegistus the Grand Telesma. When it produces radiance, it is called light. It is that substance which was created by God before all else, when he said, "Let there be light." It is a substance and a motion at one and the same time. It is a fluid and a perpetual vibration. The inherent force by which it is put into activity is called magnetism. In infinite space, it is ether or etherized light. It becomes astral light in the stars, which it magnetizes, while in organized beings, it becomes magnetic light or fluid. In man, it forms the astral body, or plastic mediator. The will of intelligent beings acts directly on this light, and by means thereof, upon all nature, which is made subject to the modifications of intelligence. This force was known to the ancients. It consists of a universal agent having equilibrium for its supreme law, while its direction depends immediately on the great arcanum of transcendental magic. By the direction of this agent, we can change the very order of the seasons, produce in the night the phenomenon of day, correspond instantaneously from one end of the earth to the other, discern like Apollonius what is taking place at the antipodes, heal or hurt at a distance, and endow human speech with a universal reverberation and success. This agent, which barely manifests under the uncertainties of the art of Mesmer and his followers, is precisely what the medieval adepts call the first matter of the magnum opus. And when you can operate this force at will, you will then be able to practice evocation and invocation. Evocation is when you command the electric and magnetic fluids, and you are able to bend reality and the gods and goddesses to your will. Invocation is when you ask and give offerings to the gods and goddesses, and these offerings are endowed with the electric and magnetic fluids that the gods and goddesses can take in the offering, and then they can change reality on your behalf. The things you see and focus on and focus your will be affected in one way or another. The stronger your will, the stronger the change. And the energy is released, remember, from those points in the body we mentioned earlier. This is what gives a witch her powers. The mage, the alchemist, healers, and the true practitioners of Nikun and Ninjutsu.
Mitero Oshino. Watch. Watch and see what I can do. First, the head will swim. Then the sweats and the pain. Then he will die. There is nothing you can do.
Some surgeons and doctors in China still use qi and use the electric and magnetic fluids in their profession. Note the exit points of this energy. In the old Chinese texts on Tao's training and internal alchemy, the cauldron stands for the Dantians, and the use is to give birth to what is sometimes called the immortal infant. The cauldron, like the physical furnace, is heated up by the air or the breath. This changes the Dantians or cauldron's content into another state or a higher or purer element. If you watch closely, you can actually see the baby move.
Dr. Roger doesn't know what to expect.
Meditation every day. Like you can touch me, like this. It's nothing, okay? It's my burn. Just like this.
He won't sit still, so she's asked to hold him and grin and bear it. Sometimes signs that he did direct a powerful energy generated from his own body into his patients. Sometimes he used the needles, sometimes just his hands.
This is the same master pushing a chopstick through a wooden table. He is not using his physical strength, but the chopstick is in the center of his palm, located on the Laogong point, one of the centers that I mentioned. And the energy is being sent down through the chopstick like a homemade laser, I guess, in a way. The drill holes found and ancient structures weren't made by any alien lasers, but by machines that could control energies and harness it just like this. This is how magic wands work, if properly constructed, to channel these fluids. The wand, the magic mirror, and all of your instruments, remember, are extensions of yourselves. Kanzawa Tadashi Sensei is a world-famous Chi master that uses the magnetic fluid to put animals in a sleep-like state, and he can also heal both animal and humans. Quick note, you will notice that debunker James Randi and the other debunkers never challenge this guy. See, these debunkers, they know who to choose to challenge and who not to. Kanzawa Sensei would mean they're ruined, so they stay away. Just wanted to put that in there.
が神座は眉一つ動かさず怪しい動きを始めた。なんとこれが神座の不思議な力を出すポーズなのである。
もう交流始まってますから手応え始まってます。
我々には見えない気の力で象とつながっているという本当なのか。
今ちょっと耳を折りたたみましたよね。あれはすごく安心しきった状態ですね。
交流が始まる前の耳はこのように立っていたが、今はだらんと降りた状態にある。何やら目もトロンとしてきた。さらに5分とその時象が寝転んだ。が次の瞬間、象はすぐに立ち上がった。一体何が起こっているのか。飼育係は
もう今見てください、目もつぶりかけてますよ。
このやや目を開いた状態で果たして象は寝ているというのか。
あ、寝てますよ。もう完全に寝た状態です。
なんとプロの飼育係が象は眠っていると断言。確かに微動だにしない。神沢は気の力で巨大な象を眠らせたのだ。我は来た。バイキングからおよそ10メートル離れて気をかけ始める神沢。果たして
今交流が始まってかなり手応えが出てきました。
神沢とバイキングの間に気が通じ合ったという。がバイキングに変化なし。神沢が奇妙な行動に出た。靴を脱ぎ足の裏をバイキングに向け始める。これぞ神沢の秘技足裏気量。なんと足の裏からは手の3倍以上の気が出るという。秘技足裏気量をかけ始めたその直後、周囲の牛たちに変化が現れ始めた。次々と膝を落とし眠り始めたのだ。残るはバイキングのみ。まさに1対1の勝負。とその時、
それでは背中の筋肉が時々痛くなるという春彦くんに治療を体験して でもらいましょう。まずは気量の前後の体の状態を比較するために脈を調べておきます。
いかがですか？
そしていよいよ気を送り始めます。
言ってた意味で感じたこと。
なんか暑いっていうか、これ別に帽子かぶってるわけだからじゃなくて、なんていうんですか、トロンとしてくるなんか暑さの。
死にたいのは大体ピリピリする。始まったでしょ。感じでしょ。
さらに足から気を流すと春彦くんは
なんか今も二郎状態。
大丈夫ですよ。
目トロンとしてき
た。大丈夫です。幸せですね。
ここで気量終了。脈を確かめます。
すごいすごい。ドクドクいってる。
だってもう体俺すごいもん今。
あったかい。
ポカポカなんか。
起きてください。
気分の良くなった春彦くん。
全然違う。
背中の調子はどうですか？
やる前と
楽ですね。
続いて誰でも気を出せるというので挑戦してみました。
熱感をもう感じ始めてる人いると思いますし、それからチリチリとかビリビリとかジンジンという感じがありますね。でこれこう動かしてください。さらによくわかるでしょ。そうこれがもう始まりなんですよね。
ちょっとピリピリ
ピリピリくる。
ちょっと
まだ今度もうピリピリきてます。
ほわーんと温かい感じ。
これを続けてもらいたい。これも自分でね。
こんなに自分のは
なかなかわからない。そういう人もいるでしょうね。
催眠術もダメだし、これもダメだと終わってるな私。
というような結果でしたが、あなた。
There were so many people that I wanted to talk about that possessed the magnetic fluid. But because of time, I had to condense it. And so I chose the ones that exhibited something truly special that I could share with you guys. There was one man named Vladimir Dolf. Vladimir Dolf comes from a long line of circus performers who were and still are very famous in Russia and throughout the world. Vladimir's interaction with animals, it was uncanny. It was uncanny because when he trained them, not many people know that he was born with a secret. He could communicate with animals by telepathy. One of the early stories he relates is he was playing with his friends in an abandoned yard when they were cornered by a vicious dog. I'm not sure if the dog was mad or just didn't want you to be there, but he was pretty upset. They all were afraid of being attacked and mauled by this dog. Vladimir looked the dog in his eyes and stared intently. The dog stopped growling and walked away. Vladimir said it was then he knew that he was special. And as the years progressed, he joined the family circus and used his abilities to train the animals to new heights unseen. Vladimir was so famous that when a director needed a particular scene for a movie involving an animal, he could think of no other person but Vladimir to train the animal for the scene. Now the scene involved this. There's a man at a table. And at this table, there's cakes and pies and other treats there, filled with food. There's a deed or an important piece of paper on the table. And this pig is supposed to walk up to the table, ignore everything else, and grab the deed and eat it. So the director explained this to Vladimir. Vladimir said, okay, I can do this. So the director said, okay, we can start rehearsing. Vladimir stopped him and told him, the director, we don't need to rehearse. You're ready to shoot the scene, let me know, and the pig will do it on the first take. The director couldn't believe it. He said, okay, time is money. So if my time is wasted, we have to reshoot the scene, it's coming out of your fee. And Vladimir agreed. The day of the shoot, it comes. Vladimir took the prop, the deed, smeared some honey on it, and then put it back on the table. The director yells, action. The pig walks into the set in front of the camera, walks up to the table, ignoring the cakes, the pies, the food, everything else, grabs the deed, and starts eating it. The director couldn't believe it. Passes out. So that's just one of the many talents and proofs of Vladimir's powers that were documented. Really amazing. Vladimir, when he wasn't working with the circus, he was a champion of parapsychology in dealing with animals. He performed all sorts of tests to prove that all animals can receive telepathic messages and that they actually understand us. We just don't listen. And this is his dog Mars. A lot of experiments that were done with him and his dog Mars together. Believers and non-believers alike would write something on a piece of paper, give it to Vladimir, with Mars in another room. Vladimir had to read the piece of paper and send a telepathic message to Mars, telling him what to do. And the dog would do it. There was one test where Vladimir opened the piece of paper and it said, get Mars to bring you the phone book. So Vladimir used his powers, focused, looked into Mars, looked into Mars's eyes. Mars left, came back with the phone book. Now I know a lot of you are wondering how he did this, and I have an idea. I remember reading something about Vladimir, and it kind of makes sense. He said that when he sent telepathic messages to Mars, his dog, he would send telepathic images to tell the dog what to do. Example, let's say you want the dog to do something. He would send points of interest as images to the dog. Like, go to this chair, here. After this chair, go to this table over there in the next room. And then from there, another image of a sofa where a book may be laying, let's say a phone book. Focus on the book itself, another image. But that's the last image you show, and you picture him grabbing it and bringing it. That's how he did it. And it makes sense because I read something else in another piece I was reading on Russian parapsychology. This Russian guy could mesmerize people in miles away. And sometimes the people didn't speak Russian, and the Russian guy couldn't speak their language, but he said he did it by putting images in the people's minds to get them to walk where he was, or to perform a specific task while they were under images. But not just that, I remember reading also in Evocation that, I think it was another post I was reading somewhere else, where someone was asking, how could a spirit, the same spirit or being, understand every language in the world? And the answer is something called, in the sciences, picture language. In picture language, when you're conjuring a spirit, you don't really technically speak to it. You do, but you use images in your mind to convey what you want from the spirit or what the spirit to do. Picture language. So this is why, anybody can speak Russian or German or Hindi or Spanish or whatever and speak with the same spirit, and it understands if you know what you're doing. So my guess, this is how Vladimir got that big deed to deed doing that movie shoot. A great man with a great power, skilled in the magnetic fluid.
You're getting very sleepy. A robbery now to tell you about with a truly bizarre twist. A New Hampshire clerk says two men used hypnosis to rob his convenience store. The dudes made off with thousands of dollars in cash. Surveillance video seems to support the clerk's story, showing two bearded men talking to him before he hands over the cash. Police say without the tape, they never would have believed this.
Tom and Jen, the men had turbans on, and they claimed to be Guruji. They offered Yogi, he's the owner of this convenience store behind me, a cultural type of mind healing. And they began by trying to prove their psychic powers with a simple game. They asked Yogi to name his favorite flower. He said rose. They opened up a paper. This word was written on it. But then the predictions got a lot more personal.
They also said my wife's name, which is not too many people know. My mom's name, they told me. They told me what was my future goal.
29-year-old Yogi Patel is upset and embarrassed. He fell for a scam that he's heard about in India, a scam that cost him over $1,000.
Have you ever been hypnotized before?
Never been, and every time I heard about it, I laughed at it. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Take a look at store video of the scam as it went down. It started with a simple mind game. Think of a wild animal, they say, and we'll write down what's in your mind. But it escalates quickly to very personal information about a former girlfriend. And finally, says Patel, mind control. Even investigators are persuaded.
From him telling me, I wouldn't have believed it. Seeing the video of saying he's hypnotized, it makes it a little stronger.
Marlboro only has 2 convenience stores. The turban-clad men stopped here first and asked the woman at the register where the Indian-owned store was in town.
Well, they obviously scammed him. I feel bad.
So does Marty Stokes. This store has never lost this kind of money before. Now her boss is blaming himself.
He is so sharp. He's very sharp. I mean, the man's right on the ball all the time, you know. He's got a business head you wouldn't believe.
The Gurujis request a donation for their healing. No weapon, no threats, no demands.
Do we have a crime here?
I would say that they deceived him. It would be as like a modern-day gypsy.
Brothers and sisters, I actually met one of these guys sometime around, I think, 2002 or 2003, somewhere around there anyway. I'm working in this shop, and this guy walks in, Indian guy. He's dressed in all white, and he's got a turban on it, and the turban is white too. He's got a little beard. It's not too big. It's kind of like fuzz, I guess you would describe it. Anyway, he says if he can show me his special powers, or I can't recall what words he used, but that if he could show me, would I give him an offering or some food, which, I wouldn't mind. But me thinking this is some kind of scam, I'm like, I want to bust this guy. So I was like, okay, what can you do? He says, I want you to write down a flower and a number on a piece of paper, and don't let me see it. I'm thinking to myself, don't worry, I won't. So he's like maybe 6 feet away from me. I turn around to the desk, and so I'm thinking of a flower. I'm like, I'm not going to choose, rose, because it's just too simple. It's probably some weird, like, magician scam or something. So let's say maybe daisy, daffodil, something you wouldn't think of. So anyway, I still ended up writing rose. I don't know why. I wrote rose down. And the number, I can't recall, like it's been so long. I can't recall if it was from 1 to 50, whatever, but I think it was 2 numbers. So I write down the flower, which was rose. I didn't want to write it, but I did. And the number. He told me to fold the piece of paper up. I can't recall how many times, but it was in a little bowl. He said to give it back to him. I made sure I watched him. He took it, I believe, in his right hand, and then he rolled the paper around in between his index finger and his thumb. And I never took my eyes off the paper. He rolled it around. There was no smoke. He didn't put any sheets or anything over it. No blanket. Didn't say look over there. Didn't hide it. He just stood there, rolling it around in between his thumb and index finger. And he was saying something, mumbling something. I couldn't quite make it out, but I don't think I would have understood anyway. So anyway, after rolling the paper around and mumbling the words, he said rose, and he said my number. I could not believe it. Not just that. In the shop with me, there were 4 other people, and one of them was a doctor. And same thing. And I believe everybody chose rose, but a different number. And we gave them, I gave them some with the money I had, and they did too for a donation, or to get them some food. And I don't know, it was the darndest thing. We were trying to figure out how we did it, because everybody I worked with was a professional, degrees and everything. And like I said, I watched this dude. He didn't turn around. He didn't hide the paper. I gave it to him. I watched the whole time. And he guessed, see, mine, 1, 2, and 4 other people, I believe, that were there. So we were wondering if he kind of implanted thoughts inside our head. I mean, it's weird. We couldn't figure it out. But anyway, that's the story. Insane. So yeah, these dudes are real. And the fact that I think we all chose rose. Me, another guy, and I believe 3 women. 2 or 3 women were there. Anyway, we all chose rose. And different numbers. It's insane. So we were figuring maybe he did possibly implant thoughts in our head, because I was gonna choose another flower, something different, because rose was too easy. I still ended up writing rose on the paper. It's nuts. Anyway, let's move on. Oh, I almost forgot. I don't know if we got robbed or whatever. I can't recall if the if the safe came up short or not. But like I said, it's kind of vague. The only thing I focused on was this dude, and the stories of people that were there with me. But I don't think so. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe he did hit us.
CCTV footage shows the moment a shopkeeper was robbed of hundreds of pounds after a thief had apparently put him in a trance. The hypnotist criminal walked into the shop in North London and can be seen touching the owner on the arm. Within a few seconds, the shopkeeper appears to freeze and be spellbound. Throughout the entire robbery, which only took 50 seconds, the thief can be seen talking and touching the man in a bizarre sequence of moves. The suspect continues to distract the shopkeeper as he goes through his pockets twice and steals the day's takings. It's only when the crook leaves the man realises what's happened. The Metropolitan Police said that the suspect's distraction tactics had worked, and the shopkeeper said he was momentarily unaware of what happened to him.
This is the off-licence in North London where the thief struck. Owners Aziz Haider and his wife say he used intrusive gestures and an elaborate story to throw Mr. Haider off guard.
I tried to concentrate what he was saying. It was just my wife bringing like that in action. So I said, what is he saying? And suddenly I noticed that my money is gone.
His friend was wondering basically how my husband was being allowed to be touched all over his stomach. But it was all tactics.
Tactic, yeah.
But he also felt that, and so did the police, that possibly he had some hypnotic field over him.
Hypnotherapist Jack Raymond says these distraction techniques can be very effective.
The touching, which was the initial thing, was designed to throw the guy off balance, to make him a little bit disorientated, confused. He clearly knows what he's doing and is also fairly sure that he's going to get the result that he wants.
Police say victims of this sort of crime are often reluctant to come forward.
We believe it's not hypnosis, but we do believe that it's a very well-planned and cunning parlour act or party trick. And you can see from the suspect by the confidence which he exudes in the tape and by the method that he's committed this act that he's undoubtedly done this before and will do it again unless he's caught.
The public are being asked to call Crime Stoppers with any information. The man who owns this shop lost £600 to the invasive and hypnotic tactics of the thief. He wants to warn other shopkeepers to be more vigilant, and the police want help in finding the suspect. Caroline Hepker, BBC London News.
Police in Italy are looking for a thief who is suspected of putting his victims into a trance before walking off with their money. CBS News correspondent Alan Pizzi has the latest.
It may not turn out to be the perfect crime, but this surveillance camera footage shows what appears to be one of the most ingenious and simple ways to steal money: hypnosis. The man in front of the counter has hit banks and supermarkets. A bank teller said he leaned over and told her, "Look into my eyes." The next thing she remembered was an empty till. A supermarket cashier who was asked to change a €100 note, about $157, apparently handed over more than $1,200. She told police she was sure the money was stolen by the man who mesmerized her.
₹1000 देने के बाद अब दोनों लुटेरे जौहरी से कुछ नोट का खुल्ला मांगते हैं। इसके बाद जैसे ही जौहरी खुल्ला देने लगता है, खुद लुटेरे भी उसकी आंखों के सामने गल्ला में हाथ डाल देते हैं। पहले एक डालता है और फिर दूसरा। अब गौर से देखिए, जौहरी सब कुछ अपनी आंखों से देख रहा है। उसके सामने दो अजनबी ग्राहक उसके गले में हाथ डाल रहे हैं और वो कोई विरोध नहीं कर रहा है। आपको बता दूं कि कुछ देर पहले जो सारे जेवर लुटेरों ने पसंद किए थे, वो भी इसी गले में रखे थे। अब जौहरी की आंखों के सामने उसी गले में हाथ डालकर जेवर के वो पैकेट और गले में रखे 35,000 कैश वो निकाल लेते हैं। गल्ला साफ करने के बाद अब दूसरा लुटेरा एक पर्ची पर अपना फोन नंबर लिखकर जौहरी को देता है और तेजी से दुकान से बाहर निकल जाता है। लाइव सम्मोहन की यह आखिरी घड़ी की तस्वीरें हैं। लुटेरे करीब 4.25 लाख के गहने और 35,000 कैश लेकर दुकान से जा चुके हैं, पर जौहरी शायद अब भी अपने होश में नहीं है। वो लुटेरे की दी पर्ची देखता है और सामने रख देता है। अब सामने एक दूसरा ग्राहक बैठा है। इसके बाद करीब 3-4 मिनट बीत जाता है। अब जौहरी की शायद याददाश्त लौट रही है। उसे कुछ याद आता है और वो अचानक गल्ला खोलने लगता है। जिस गल्ले में उसने जेवर रखे थे, उसकी चाबी उसे नहीं मिल रही। इस पर वो नौकर को आवाज देता है। नौकर आता है और एक दूसरे गल्ले से चाबी निकाल कर देता है। इसके बाद जैसे ही जौहरी उस गल्ले को खोलता है, पहली बार उसके होश उड़ते दिखाई देते हैं। गल्ले से सारे गहने और कैश गायब थे। गल्ला खाली देख अचानक जैसे उसे सदमा लगा। वो फौरन जोर जोर से लोगों को बुलाने लगता है। जौहरी अब पूरी तरह बदहवास नजर आ रहा है। वो कभी अपना सिर पकड़ता, कभी बाल नोचता, तो कभी वापस कुर्सी पर बैठ जाता। फिर कुछ पल बाद अचानक सदमे में वो जमीन पर जा गिरता है और बेसुध हो जाता है। उसे जमीन पर बेहोश पड़ा देख नौकर घबरा जाता है। आस पड़ोस से भी तब तक 1-2 लोग आ चुके थे। जौहरी वापस उठता तो है, पर अब भी सदमे में है। इसी के बाद वो मोबाइल निकालता है और पुलिस को फोन करता है।
Brothers and sisters, looking at that video, I'm pretty sure you guys already know what happened. These guys come in pretending to be customers. They mesmerize the shopkeeper and they take cash and jewels as jewelry. Now the shopkeeper, as with some of the other ones, they don't realize that they've been robbed until they check their drawer or till or safe at the end of the day, or just some random search, and they realize that everything is gone. They don't know who, they don't know when, until they look at the camera footage, and then they put 2 and 2 together. Now people may, scream fake. It's easy to cry fake, but you have to look at that video and not just say fake, but you have to ask yourselves, why could this be real? Think about it. If he's a shopkeeper or he's dealing in jewelry and a lot of expensive items, he has to have insurance, correct? Who's going to pay this guy? He is on camera giving away this stuff. Would you pay him? I wouldn't. He says he was hypnotized. Can you imagine all the scams? People saying they were hypnotized just to collect the insurance money? Yeah, it's real. And plus, the guy, once he finds out his stuff is missing, he just snaps, passes out. So anyway, this is the end of part 1. Yes, I know. I was supposed to post this video last night on June 30th, but I was kind of pressed for time for work and everything. And actually, I stayed up all night, haven't been to sleep yet. So I'm pretty sure I'm slurring through some certain parts in here that I'm narrating. But the second part to this is going to be put up July 8th or 9th, or 7th or 8th, or next Friday or Saturday, whichever those days are. It's ready now, but I have to edit it and clean it up and narrate some of the stuff as well. So anyway, thank you guys for your support, and let me know what you think. Peace.